Everyone here is going crazy. What a night at Madison Square Garden. All the Knicks fans calling it the greatest game in franchise history.
There is no doubt it was the biggest comeback in NBA Finals history. Rhiannon Alley was there. She's standing by with all the excitement. I have to say, I had gone to bed. And then my son was making so much noise upstairs that then my husband and I turned the game on and watched with everybody else with astonishment.
There is just collective joy here in New York. Yes, it's in New York, but we're feeling it this morning. I went to bed at halftime, woke up to the best messages of my life. I looked at my phone with dread this morning and everything changed. We're so excited about it here in New York, and we hope you're feeling good wherever you're joining us from. Ginger is standing by, tracking the severe weather threat that's putting 100 million people on alert after at least 14 tornadoes were reported across 4 states.
And we are tracking the fallout from the new inflation report. Prices rising at the fastest pace in 3 years, fueled by the war in Iran. Elizabeth Schultz is standing by with the details on that. And the president's head-scratching comments where he said, "I love the inflation." But we're going to begin with that epic comeback by the Knicks, putting them one win away from the title. Rhiannon Alley was at the game. She almost left as well, but you stayed.
That's right, George. I told you I almost left in the third quarter. I'm so glad I didn't. That game was a tale of two halves. The energy inside the first half was subdued. It was a night that New York fans had not hoped for. I saw people praying in the bathroom at halftime, but then the second half was the greatest comeback in finals history.
The chip is gone!
Madness at the Mecca.
That's it! It's over! The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history!
This morning, the Knicks mounting the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history.
Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good, the chip is gone!
Down 29 points, now up 3-1 in the series. It was a disastrous start for New York. San Antonio dominating with 14 threes in the first half.
And nails it. The cell corner three, it's good. Harper, three-pointer. That's good, another three.
The most in finals history.
Fox has to shoot and knocks it down. Everything going in.
Victor Wembanyama playing some of the best basketball of his career in the first half. Clearly getting into the heads of the Knicks players. Wemby taking an elbow to the head from Mitchell Robinson, then clapping at the move.
And an offensive foul called down this side.
Leading the Spurs into halftime with a 27-point lead, the Knicks with a .4 chance of winning. The Garden stunned into silence.
That is the look of shock.
But the Knicks not giving up.
Series Anunoby with the flush.
Coming back in the second half with something to prove.
Alley-oop to Robinson.
Chipping away at the Spurs lead, going on a 13-0 run.
Three, it's good.
The Brunson burner hitting overdrive. Captain clutch Jalen Brunson scoring 36 points.
It's good. The Knicks take the lead.
The Knicks taking the first lead of the night with less than 2 minutes to go. But it was OG with the OMG at MSG, passing in the ball with 5.7 seconds on the clock. Brunson shoots a long three and OG Anunoby tipping in the winning basket.
It's a game of runs. We believe in ourselves. We've come back before. We're battle tested. We're mentally tough. We're a resilient group.
Madison Square Garden erupting, the ground shaking. Celebrity Row just as stunned as the rest of us. Players embracing the moment and each other. Fans at watch parties across the Big Apple exploding.
We did it! We were so amazing! New York did it!
The U.S. men's soccer team taking a break from training for the World Cup to watch the winning moment. Spike Lee couldn't contain his joy. And Taylor Swift celebrating with fans after the game. Timothée Chalamet also getting in on the action. A sea of orange and blue filling the streets of Gotham from the buildings to the people.
One word that captures that all is just believe.
Well, he believed, and now New York believes. After the game, Knicks coach Mike Brown and Karl Anthony Towns both said that luck played a role here, saying sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you have to make your own luck. I think New York fans are feeling very lucky this morning, and those bathroom prayers were answered.
Just incredible. Game 6, San Antonio, Saturday night. Thank you, Rhiannon. Of course, it was an explosive scene in Midtown Manhattan. Fans set off fireworks. There was fighting in the streets outside Madison Square Garden. Aaron Katursky's on the scene. Good morning, Aaron.
Hey, good morning, George. I mean, that was a bananas comeback, and while most fans were just celebrating with joy, there were some in the crowd that filled the blocks here outside Madison Square Garden that just could not control themselves. Fans poured into the streets, blocking traffic, climbing on the scaffolding or hoisting themselves into the bucket of a lift to egg on the crowd. And some Knicks fans showed up at the hotel where the Spurs are staying and appeared to throw actual eggs at Victor Wembanyama. Rowdier fans picked fights. They set off fireworks and smoke bombs, stomped on taxis and damaged police vehicles. Officers on horseback arrived to control the crowd and enforce what's supposed to be a secure zone around the arena. The NYPD said there were some officers that sustained injuries, and there were dozens of arrests. They're still sorting out the arrests this morning, guys, although most of the fans behaved pretty well and are just psyched and bleary-eyed this morning. Guys.
Yes, and some of them are probably running late for work right now, and we approve. Aaron, thank you. We turn now to the war with Iran. The U.S. military launching a wave of airstrikes against Iran after President Trump warned that Iran would, quote, pay the price for taking too long to negotiate a deal to end the war. Iran quickly responded, and Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz is tracking it all for us from Jerusalem. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Rebecca. The U.S. attacks lasted nearly 4 hours, and the administration is saying this may not be the last of them, making clear that the ceasefire is over for now. Overnight, U.S. ships and fighter jets launching a wave of attacks, targeting Iranian air defenses, surveillance, and communication systems. The president telling Fox News that 49 Tomahawk missiles struck Iran's southwest coast. And the administration now warning Iran that if they don't sign a peace agreement, the U.S. will hammer them again.
If we need to negotiate with bombs, we'll negotiate with bombs.
Instead, Iran has fired back, again launching its own missiles at U.S. bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. All the missiles intercepted, but debris damaging homes, vehicles, and causing minor injuries to a child in Bahrain. These latest attacks come less than 24 hours after U.S. fighter jets struck nearly 20 targets, including Iranian air defense and radar systems near the Strait of Hormuz. Iran releasing unverified video claiming to show the strikes also damaged critical civilian water reservoirs. CENTCOM saying they are looking into the report. The U.S. strikes were launched in retaliation for Iran downing a U.S. Apache helicopter. But the latest strikes intended to pressure Iran, with President Trump growing increasingly impatient.
They keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers.
While these strikes fall short of resuming all-out war, that is certainly possible. The Iranians now calling the ceasefire meaningless, and the region once again bracing for what may come next. Lindsay?
Disappointment for any hope of diplomacy. Martha Raddatz in Jerusalem for us. Thank you, Martha. The war is sending inflation soaring, with prices rising the fastest in 3 years. And President Trump is now trying to explain what he meant when he said, quote, I love the inflation. Elizabeth Schulze has the latest for us. Good morning, Elizabeth.
What happened to
Good morning, Lindsay. Inflation is now at its highest level since early 2023, driven by the spike in oil and gas prices. President Trump is downplaying the report as many American households grapple with those soaring day-to-day costs.
This morning, prices are going up at the fastest pace in 3 years. The Iran war driving the inflation rate to 4.2%. President Trump said this when asked if he's concerned about the number.
No, I love it. The numbers were great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation.
Democrats pouncing. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer reposting Trump's comment, writing, Trump really said, I love the inflation, on camera. The president later trying to play cleanup, telling the New York Post he was referring to what inflation numbers will be after the war ends, adding he was happy this month's report didn't show even higher numbers. The typical American household has now spent $510 extra in fuel expenses since the start of the war at the end of February. Families paying $294 extra per month for the same goods and services compared to last year.
Prices going up in the grocery store, gas prices, soaring.
Groceries are up 2.7% in 1 year. Coffee surging 20%. Ground beef up 13%, while a carton of eggs is down 51%.
Where do you see prices going up in your budget day to day?
Groceries, for sure. Gas.
Here in Indianapolis, we meet Hannah Cooper filling up her SUV. She tells us she and her husband are cutting back.
I have to think more about, if I want to save this much, I have to actively think about spending less, which didn't used to be the case.
What's making it harder to absorb these extra costs is that Americans' average wage increases are no longer keeping up with inflation. Paychecks, on average, are up 3.4% over the past year. That inflation rate is up 4.2%, George.
Okay, Elizabeth, thanks very much. Now to the showdown over renewing a key spy law that is vital to protecting national security. Law set to expire this weekend, but lawmakers blocking passage over President Trump's controversial new choice to head U.S. intelligence. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the story. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Georgia. And the president's controversial pick to be the acting director of national intelligence is now complicating efforts to renew this key surveillance law, which could now lapse right in the middle of this war. The president has tapped Bill Pulte to be a Trump loyalist with no experience in intelligence or national security to be the interim head of the intelligence agencies. The choice has sparked real backlash from lawmakers of both parties on Capitol Hill, and now they're threatening to not renew this law that allows the U.S. to gather intelligence abroad until Trump makes another permanent pick for the role. Trump has said he has 5 other people in mind, though he hasn't said who. And we've learned the president has had multiple meetings with the speaker and top administration officials about the path forward. In the meantime, Trump says he wants Pulte to slash staff at the intelligence agencies. He says Pulte is, quote, less shackled and has more power because he is only in the role temporarily. But the president is now in a real jam. This law is set to expire on Friday. Trump is now asking Congress for a temporary extension. Speaker Johnson plans to bring that to the floor later this morning, but Democrats have made clear, Rebecca, they are not on board, and they won't be until Trump pulls Pulte.
All right, Mary, thanks very much. We're going to turn now to the tornado outbreak and the severe storms moving across the country, slamming the Midwest and Heartland. And now they're taking aim at the I-95 corridor. And Ginger, you're tracking it all for us. Good morning.
You can feel the heat, the energy. It's not just the Knicks here in New York City building in the atmosphere. That is 4 severe storms today and tomorrow in the Northeast. But let me show you what's happening at this very hour in parts of Nebraska and Iowa. We had tornado warnings on this. There's a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 a.m. We've got a whole nother day where the same areas could get hit a second time. This morning, 100 million people under a severe weather threat.
Look at that.
At least 14 reported tornadoes, 7 of them in Missouri. More than 400,000 customers without power, most in Illinois and Michigan. In Horicon, Wisconsin, severe storms sweeping in with winds over 80 miles per hour.
There were no sirens. 1 minute it was fine, and the next minute...
causing significant damage to homes, snapping trees and ripping the roof off this apartment complex. Cars coming to a halt as debris was tossed in the air around them. Heavy rain and winds gusting over 65 miles per hour, slamming Chicago.
Oh my God.
Lifting pool furniture off a building's roof and tossing them into oncoming traffic.
Oh my God.
This condo complex damaged, parts of its roof hanging off the building.
That roofing part fell over my living room window.
Cars smashed by debris, 30 residents now displaced. More than 360 severe storm reports from Kansas up to Michigan. You can see where the bulk of them are. Now look at the threat today. Yes, the same areas, Chicago, Davenport, Kirksville, up to Milwaukee, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and even Midland. So mid-Michigan back through northwest Indiana. All chances for damaging wind is the main hazard, but a tornado could spin up in there. And here's the timing. That mass is going to move across Iowa and be at 4 p.m. right along that Iowa state line, trailing into Missouri. But Chicago has a little chance early afternoon. It's really this later afternoon, evening, where we stop the clock at 8 p.m. up to Milwaukee, down through central Illinois. That's the line that has the power from the actual cold front. Then we'll time it out here in the Northeast, because if you're having a day, it's hot, it's humid, you can feel it, that the atmosphere is ready to blow. It looks like late and scattered, so not everybody in that region gets it, but there are a few storms in northwest New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, and then tomorrow from New England all the way down to Knoxville, Tennessee. Lindsay?
Lots of activity. All right, Ginger, thank you. Now to a second night of unrest in Northern Ireland. Police in Belfast using water cannons on protesters. Their cars set on fire. This all comes after a stabbing attack earlier this week. James Longman is tracking the latest. Good morning, James.
Yeah, hi, Lindsay. There's been a second night of violent protests in Belfast in Northern Ireland. Crowds of young men clashed with police, throwing rocks and bottles. This is after an immigrant from Sudan was charged with a brutal knife attack on a man in the city. Police say protesters have been trying to reach a hotel hotel they believe was housing immigrants, and disturbingly earlier this week, some went door to door in a local street looking for foreigners and torching homes. Police responded last night with water cannon, although thankfully things were not as violent as the night before. And Elon Musk has been accused of trying to whip up violence by sharing lists on X of locations where protests could take place and retweeting a message from a far-right politician with the message, "Millions must go." The family of the man who lost his left eye in the attack have appealed for calm, and they say that while they were completely devastated by what happened to him, they reject violence as a response. George.
Okay, James, thanks very much. We're going to the latest now on Pope Leo's mission to Spain, where he blessed one of the world's most famous churches. Sam is here with the story.
And George, some people call it a miracle of design and engineering. And so, if you will, Pope Leo held a Mass at Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, offering a formal blessing to the highest spire of what is now the tallest church in the world. The architectural masterpiece is finally nearing completion after about 144 years after construction began and 100 years after the death of architect Antoni Gaudi. Now, the end of the ceremony is an absolutely stunning, and here it is for you to see, fireworks display at the show at the Basilica. The Pope will finish his trip to Spain with a visit to the Canary Islands on Friday, and you'll remember seeing all the grandeur of the inside of this when Michael was there not long ago for GMA, and it is spectacular. If you get a chance to go, go.
Yeah, it looks like that just from the video.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, thank you.